Bankbazaar is bankbazaar.com. I'm sure a lot of our viewers are aware about that. The management is now joining us. Adhil Shetty, CEO and co-founder at bankbazaar.com. Firstly, Adhil, thank you so much for taking out time for us. You know, a lot of our viewers would have seen a lot of ads of Bankbazaar, but if you could just introduce the company, what does the company do? How is it a facilitator? And how essentially viewers can benefit out of this site?
Right. So it's an online marketplace that helps users access financial products. So the financial product can be a banking product, like a credit card, a debit card, a home loan, a car loan, a personal loan. Or it can be an insurance product like health insurance, life insurance, or it can be investments and savings like mutual funds, debit card, FD. What the site does, right, is on your mobile phone, using eKYC, eSign will allow you to access financial products in extremely convenient paperless fashion. So rather than talking to 10 different institutions and then applying using paper and then finding out several days later, everything happens on the mobile phone and it happens in minutes, wherein you can take your credit card approval or set up your MF literally paperless in minutes.
Right. So after 8th and 9th of November, what has been the sort of inquiry level? Are you equipped with such sort of people, such sort of manpower, the sort of increase that we've seen in the digital push?
Yeah, so at Bankbazaar, right, it's largely a digital business. So we look to process the entire application using technology. So systems are capable of scaling rapidly. When you ask about what has happened post-demonetization, we break it into two categories. One is categories of products which really have picked up post-demonetization, like credit cards, debit cards. We're also expecting now a lot of money from retail investors to go into mutual funds because they're giving good rates of return and are competitive. However, I think products which have slowed down a bit because people are waiting and watching include things like home loans, to a lesser extent even car loans, because we're waiting for consumers to figure out what they want to do next.
Right. But, the sort of demand that you've seen, you expect a lot of people who would have probably come over a period of 2 years after this demonetization to actually come in the next 6 months?
Yeah, absolutely right. I think in the past, even if you take some people who are in our parents' generation, right, they said that I have cash, I'm completely fine. But today, right, they have come on the site and taken a debit card. They've come on the site and they've taken a credit card because they realize that, I need to have that plastic in my wallet. So definitely, I think for the same user, what they need in their wallet, and for new users who've never touched credit card, debit card before, or mutual fund before, today they realize that if I want to invest my money reasonably well, a mutual fund makes more sense for me now. So a lot of new people are coming into the system now.
Right. So, one thing is, of course, the queries have increased. And as you said that you are digital, you would probably want to do, you can execute n number of contracts versus others.
Correct.
But banks had a lot of rush. Everybody in banks was just concentrating on cash, deposits as well as, withdrawals that happen, even whether you are in loan, whether you are in fee processing or whatever that was happening. So how does the processing of these cards have happened in the last 1 month? Has there been a slowdown over there?
So when demonetization got announced, I think it was a big responsibility on the bank side. And literally, senior people in the banks were in the branches making sure that things were taken care of. A big salute to the bankers who did their very best during a very, very stressful time. So I think that month, right, a lot of resources got diverted to just making sure that currency exchange and deposits and withdrawals were happening fine on the bank side. But what we're seeing this month, right, is that the bounce back has come. So like I was saying, the number of number of visitors, the number of inquiries, right, on credit card, debit card, personal loan has actually gone higher than it was pre-demonetization.
Right. And in terms of execution, do you expect bigger push to come in after Jan?
We definitely expect so. If you look at it, the banking system is flush with a lot of funds. Now, these funds need to be productively deployed by giving them out to customers, right? So we're expecting interest rates to fall. So across home loans, car loans, the MCLR cuts have already started to a certain degree with certain banks. And we're expecting over the next 6 months, right, that there will be a push out wherein a lot of new consumers will be offered access to banking products.
Right. In terms of loan, can you just tell us a picture? So, initially there was a big risk off, people were just worried, and there was clearly a lot of bankers told us that nobody walked in for loan, nobody walked in for any products of banks. Has the home loan situation eased, especially for cars, especially for homes? Do you believe it will take a while before, you start seeing again that applications for loans coming in?
See, on the personal loan side, the recovery has been quick. So I think people, who need money for, let's say, a wedding, who need it for some kind of emergency expense, right? So I think that demand is very quick. It's a 3 lakh loan ticket that's come back. I think on home loan and car loan, we're expecting that the bounce back and the recovery will start very soon, as early as next month. I think in the initial phase, right, now that the currency has been demonetized, land transactions also, people are waiting to discover price. But I think that hopefully we'll start seeing the green shoots and the positive signs start coming in on that front too.
Right. And in terms of, how would Bank Bazaar invest into it? I'm sure that, you would also be looking to increase your volumes, take a big share of this digital space. Do you expect a lot more investment into education for public? Like, a lot of people would not know how to use bankbazaar.com.
Yeah, absolutely. See, we have about 9 million visitors who come and access the site. A majority of those are actually on the mobile phone. It's very, very interesting. We have more than 50% of our users in mobile. I think there are two major initiatives on our side. One is on December 8th, there was an RBI notification on KYC. What the RBI has allowed us and banks to do is to use eKYC via OTP, which means that on your mobile phone, you can actually set up a savings account. You can set up an FD up to 1 lakh and you don't have to submit any paperwork. It works on a very secure eKYC via OTP Aadhaar system. So one big area of investment for Bank Bazaar is building the right technology, right? So that with your mobile phone in the comfort of your house, you can get a mutual fund in minutes. You can get a debit card in minutes, and you don't have to run around and face any inconvenience. It needs to be fully paperless. The second area is education. I think there are a lot of new technology options open. Another option, for example, is UPI. It's a great technology, right? You don't have to load or unload any wallet. From your bank account, you can pay via virtual ID. I think a big push, both from the Government of India side, which is encouraging cashless and paperless, from the RBI side and Bank Bazaar side next year in 2017, is to educate customers, right, on how to use these products, because genuinely they're convenient. They're more convenient than the old ways of doing things. But I think there's always a small obstacle when you try something new. So we're trying to teach people that, hey, open your mobile phone, just check for the best rates, apply online, get approval online, and you don't have to run around. It's paperless.
Right. In terms of, credit card usage or probably using of cash versus digital money, one of the key problems that a lot of people face is, whenever you go, say, to a path lab or to a restaurant who's not, very digital, they would say that we would take 1% extra or 2% extra on your card rather than the cash that you would give. Do you think those charges would come down and that would lead to more usage of, digital money?
Yeah, absolutely. A merchant is in fact not allowed to ask for that 1 or 2% extra. If you look at it, the government and the banks have waived off MDR on debit card charges up to a certain time frame to encourage it. So I definitely, see a situation wherein whether you're paying cash in a restaurant, whether you're paying cash in a lab, or whether you're paying using your debit card or your credit card, the payment should be the same. There's no reason for any difference. And I think the government is trying to ensure, right, that people are able to use their banking instruments anywhere they go.
Right. So in terms of, what happens in terms of usage of cards, do you expect as the volumes increase, that 2% number itself would come down even if banks don't reduce it?
See, that's the MDR, and I think there are multiple parties which are part of that. So that really depends upon, how the parties work together. And all said and done, right, they have expenses for the point of sale machines, for the maintenance, the setup of those accounts. So I think that issue needs to be dealt with, by the providers in that system, which is the issuing bank, the acquiring bank, and the network provider.
Right. How big an opportunity do you think will investments be? Now, with cash not being encouraged, money being into bank, and probably going ahead, things would, in the banking space, would increase. So do you think, a person who would want to buy real estate or maybe a physical gold, it'll be more incentivized to go into the insurance space or the mutual fund space because the cost may be low?
I definitely agree, right? So now what has happened is all the money is back in the banking system. So it's in banking. Now with one click, right, this money can be used to open a mutual fund, be it debt, be it equity. And I definitely see that now people can't park their money in unaccounted for places. So it automatically means that they need to put the money where it will be used and give them a reasonable return. And I think a debt mutual fund is, if one is not looking at risk, or an equity mutual fund makes sense. Now the beauty of technology, right? I put my money savings in mutual fund. I do it on Bank Bazaar. literally in 3 minutes flat, right? You do eKYC, it's completely paperless, and your mutual fund is set up. You have access to all of the mutual funds in the country. I see a lot more people right now that they need to use their money in accounted for places moving towards the mutual fund market. And I think online being a useful way of doing it, because literally it's a matter of 2 minutes in order to complete your paperless transaction.
Right. Adhil, thank you so much for taking out time for us, and hope our viewers learned quite a bit.